against my enemies, yeah.
Hello everyone, what is up? I am Rob.
I am Eamon.
It is Monster Fuzz. What's up, Eamon?
Very little. Very little now. I'm curious to see how you enjoy this episode because it seems like a you episode. It's got everything that you like in it. I'm not going to give anything away. Not even that part. The headless people part is pretty cool. We're going to get to the last little bit of this episode and you're going to go, what? What? How is this possible? Or is it possible at all? But yeah, it's got, I think...
mystery.
It's got a lot of stuff. I won't lie to you. It's getting more and more difficult to find things for the podcast unless we just want to go, vampires, what's going on?
Patron recommendations we need to do, though, Eamon.
We do, but they don't do things that are easy to do. They don't give us things that when you're working full time, they're like, read this 600-page book. You're like, nah, I'm not about that.
No, we need to do more Bigfoot. We haven't done Bigfoot in 2 years.
I was going to do something on the wood woes, which then bleeds into Bigfoot.
No, we need to do, there's a lot more Bigfoot.
More Bigfooty.
There's more Bigfoot
are we going to do a look at the Bigfoot, behold the Bigfoot videos?
We need to
I
do
think that would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So before we get into this one, the Valley of the Headless Men, we'd like to implore everyone to go over and check out our Patreon. It helps us to continue to make these episodes. You'll get ad-free episodes in return, Patreon only exclusive episodes, discounts for merch, all of that shit. And as well, I'm hoping it's out by now, but
you're going to start your thing.
Trying to get it done. I was doing notes the other day, but I'm trying to get it together in a way where it's like an episode rather than just, it's different when you're on your own.
Yeah,
very different when you're on your own because when we're together, it's like, here's the notes and then waffle.
Yeah.
But when you're on your own, you're like, shit, you're relying more on notes.
Yeah.
And less on waffle. So what I'm actually want to do though is waffle more, notes less. So what that means is knowing more about the topic.
Yeah.
Which is where it gets tricky.
Because again, when you're like two of us working full time,
geniuses,
have all their stuff going on. Maybe so, but geniuses that don't always have enough time to. Do you know, you'd love to do like a really proper, here's everything about this topic.
Yeah.
But you just don't have enough time to really research to that level.
The cool thing with us in the podcast we have is that the topic is inconsequential.
People don't
subject,
care.
The
Valley of the Headless Men. What will they say in this podcast? They'll say anything. They don't seem to care about what they say.
It's Monster Fuzz podcast. What will they do next?
Whatever we want. I remember back in the early days of TCG, there was some like review on like boards.ie or something, and I think the people kind of hated us when we were doing it. And it was just like, one of the comments was like, they don't seem to care about what they say. Which I was like, class, that's what we want.
There's a weird, I was talking about this, it's funny you mention it with my friend Jean today actually. There's a weird thing in Ireland where they generally don't, I personally think anyway, I might be wrong, there's probably people that listen that disagree that are Irish, but I personally feel like that you get cut down a lot in Ireland and it's not until you bring home the bacon. You have to go off on a quest and come back with your success for people in Ireland to
and
go,
if you bring home too much bacon, they hate you even more.
It's a weird thing.
It's I think we're like, a pessimistic island.
If you went to like, if you told people like, oh, I have a podcast, to be like, oh, that wanker with a podcast. But then if you told them, I have a podcast and we've got this lined up and we've got this deal or we've got this, we did live shows, blah, blah, then they'd be like, oh, okay, it's podcast, is it? Like, yeah.
But then
it's like if you have to
if we, let's say we both made like 200 grand between us a year, and then they'd be like, sure, I can talk. Sure, it's just lads talking. Sure,
well, they do that anyway. We've had that already.
Well, it is a fair point because we do just talk. Like,
yeah, but everyone can just talk. Do you know?
Yeah.
But
where's your podcast?
This is it.
And it's only because, God, I don't want to give you the leg up.
Yous care about what you're saying. We don't.
They don't seem to care about what they're saying.
So if you don't care about how you'll be judged, where should they send in their story?
If you want to say anything you want and not without a care in the world, send it into last time someone accused Rob of being an autist. So there you go. Say anything you want. We'll read it out. It's no problem. Eamon O'Neill, is he a closeted homosexual? Do what you want. We'll read everything. monsterfuzzpodcast@gmail.com. Send in your stories, send in your queries, send in your diagnoses of our mental state.
Maybe one of us has Down syndrome. Who knows?
It'd be mad if that was something you could just get, like breaking medical science.
Yeah.
You know? That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
They'd be like, he's been hiding his Down syndrome extremely well, but I know.
Or sometimes you see lads that you're like,
some lads get nicked on the way out, like it just scratches them on the way
sometimes
out.
You see lads, just, I won't say much more about it. No, I can't. I dox them.
They don't seem to care about what they're saying.
No, say I cared there.
You did.
I shoulder restraint.
Did Rob care too much?
Yeah, I shoulder restraint.
No, I didn't like the value of the Headless Men episode. Rob cared too much about what he was saying.
Sometimes I see like ads on Instagram and I'm like, oh, that dude looks like he did kind of
Nintendo.
It's like 1.5.
Yeah. Is there? Because that's one of the things that like, there's no spectrum. It's like you are or you're not, Whereas like...
I think there is a spectrum.
Is there?
Yeah.
I didn't think there was a spectrum. I thought it was like you read or you got it or you don't.
Well, you do, but there's a spectrum under which you sort of operate, like, levels of disability and such.
So you can be like turbo, like super
like the lads that go to
2.
WWE and watch John Cena and all are fairly high octane.
I wonder how a lot of them are dealing with his heel turn.
Yeah, actually.
John Cena,
Bastard.
Personally, I'm enjoying it. It's mirroring our current political system, whereas John Cena was always the face. All of a sudden, he's kicking Cody Rhodes, Europe, straight into the nuts.
Cody Europe.
While The Rock, Russia, looks on and applauds. I stole that partially from
that's right.
From one of those talk shows.
Yeah. He's a dirty bastard anyway.
Sometimes you need to paraphrase.
So, Eamon, right. A genius such as yourself, you went off and you found this amazing topic here. Do you want to give us a bit of an intro and let us know what the crack is?
I do. So, first and foremost, these notes are taken from ancientorigins.net. It was written very well, and so I just transcribed. I didn't even transcribe it. I copied and pasted most of it.
But anyway.
It's just, I want to give them credit because it was a very good article, and obviously, like we said, no one cares about what we say. Yeah. We don't care about what we say. No one cares about the value of the Headless Men.
No.
Most of the time, they're like, I likes it when you talk about being all fucked up in your mind.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that is very true.
The introduction, ladies and gentlemen. The Northwestern Territories of Canada, I used to live there, are truly one of Earth's last true wild places. Lots of Bigfoot sightings, etc. One of its special national park reserves, called the Nahanni Valley, is, however, a little bit wilder than most. Ooh. It's home to some strange myths and mysteries and boasts a fearsome reputation for being a haunted and deadly place. This remote wild valley is not just inhospitable due to its rugged terrain, extreme weather and predators, but is also deadly due to some strange, unexplained circumstances. Over the decades, many unfortunate travelers and explorers have gone missing, or they have turned up dead and beheaded.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, wow. The number of decapitated bodies found within the Nahanni Valley have earned it the nickname the Valley of Headless Men.
Scary. People do die on mountains and areas like it.
And this is one that's kind of not. It's not been like massively explored because it's so inhospitable.
Yeah, and even in places that are hospitable or frequently travel, motherfuckers are dying. Rest in peace to the dude died on Ben Nevis.
Ben Nevis, yeah. You can see it though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, cause when we were up at the top, I couldn't believe how easy it would be to plummet to your, like, I couldn't believe, like, oh wow, this is, like if you just slipped on that part in the snow, that was it, like,
Forget it. Now that is true for most mountains,
True, but there was something about that, the way that it just sort of,
it was
really like, it was,
you're gone, like, see you later. But it's tough, and that does sound like a very rugged and nasty place, so let's go into it a little bit more. Many have said that the Nahanni Valley is one of the last truly unexplored places in the world. Yeah. Situated within the rugged Northwest Territories of Canada, well over 500 kilometres from the nearest city, Yellowknife, which is a fantastic name for a city.
Name,
really,
I wish I had a Yellowknife.
Yeah, absolutely. It is one of nature's nooks that was preserved in spite of mankind's busy expansion.
I want to own all the water.
Would have been a cool time, man. Just going around expanding everywhere, you know. What did they call it? The frontier.
The frontier,
frontier, you were looking around for shit, like, you know, trying to
Jason
find, like,
Momoa would have been out there scalping.
Here's a berry bush, class. Let's get some berries.
Berry bush. Oh no. Marauders. Get away from my berry
shoot
bush.
Him. Chase him down and shoot him. Rape to women. Oh, YouTube algorithm with him.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, just YouTube algorithm in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole frontier was a YouTube algorithm.
It's mad that that's only like 100 or 200 years ago.
Yeah, but they all pretend like it was like, oh, that was like medieval times we were doing that.
Yeah, we were as like,
oh no, your granddad was
we had gone through the Renaissance and the Enlightenment, and they were like, get them, get everybody. Yeah,
come on out here, you
YouTube
Apache
algorithm. Now, to be fair, them boys were fairly fucking raw as well. They were all as raw back then.
Raw is war.
Yeah,
they were all at it.
I wish that everyone had Titantron music.
Yeah,
and it like reacted to your mood. So sometimes when a wrestler comes out, it doesn't have. It's just more like plays an Elliott Smith song as he walks through because he's miserable.
That would actually be class.
That would be pretty cool.
Some wrestlers should actually come out to like fucking Waltz 2 by Elliott Smith or something. That would be quite cool. Yeah, no man, Frontier sounds class.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been class. Can you imagine just the level we talk about, like, oh, my mental health and I'm on my Lexapros, but like, can you imagine out there in the snow looking for pelts?
Yeah, I wonder though, like,
arrows at you.
Back then though, I wonder, like, was the psychopathic behavior of the average male enough to satiate your ups and downs?
It was. I think your brain was just like, the last thing we can do is make this man think about his own life.
Yeah, like,
he just has to survive.
I don't even think that. Like, I'm thinking, what I'm saying is, like, your highs that you would get back then were like psychopathic lunatic shit that we've lost now, so maybe that's why we're struggling a bit mentally.
The genesis of new metal lies within the frontier.
Oh yeah,
you know, just
my mates actually unironically bought tickets to Disturbed.
Yeah,
they're playing in Ireland.
Like, didn't he get trouble for signing an Israeli artillery shell?
I actually can't. Like, there will literally be like 30 people probably at that in Ireland, I'd say, especially after that. But actually, heavy metal fans aren't the best at being fucking.
They don't care about
anything.
They'll just be like, well, to be fair, they'll be like, sure, Hamas are in government. It's an act of terrorism. Break them up.
David Raymond, like, so corny.
I heard him recently talking about how lonely it is to be singing. I can't go out to smoke fags and drink cans after the show because I have to protect my voice.
Oh, right.
So he just goes
in. No cares, man. Just get up on stage.
Just sing to a playback track.
Gesticulate around the stage in your leather pants like you do anyway. It'd be grand. Like, have a good time.
Everything that changes, wow, inside of me.
Gyrate and gesticulate.
What age is he? He's like 50 now. If I was still singing down with the sickness, no, I probably will sing down with the sickness.
Disturbed are big, man. Like, they're like Disturbed are like, you know, they have their own little niche, like
they do. Yeah, weird, it's hard to argue with the vocal stylings of David Germain.
Yeah,
or David Dreidel or whatever his name is.
I think it is Dave Dreidel.
But like, it is like he does have a pretty iconic voice.
Oh no, look, they're guilty pleasure of mine, but like,
yeah,
I can't unironically go up to a Disturbed show. Like, well, like they put in the group chat like 4 tickets to Disturbed there if anyone wants to go, and I just replied Disturbed, lol.
Yeah, you should go though. Like, you'd have so much fun. You would have fun. One of our friends brought his 5-year-old to Limp Bizkit, and he said like the kid was really enjoying it, and like, but he just started powering down kind of as they were playing. But then he said, you know that song, I wanna fuck you like an animal, and like the kid just was like fucking got back up and started killing it. 5. I was so impressed. It was class.
Yeah, man, good times. Anyway, let's get back to the frontier.
Go on.
It's one of those nooks that's been preserved because of expansion. Reaching it can be a challenge. It's hard to reach, and the best routes to it are via air, water, or a long overland journey from the abandoned village of Tungsten, another great name, The valley is situated above the 60th parallel north, which puts it in line with the rest of Canada's wild territories. Cities and civilizations up north are few and far between, and surviving the wilderness can be challenging, or even fatal if you are inexperienced.
True.
Indeed. Thanks to its remarkable natural beauty, its unique geography, its features and wealth of flora and fauna, the Nahanni Valley has been proclaimed a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1978. In fact, it was one of the first 4 natural heritage locations to be given this status, but this lofty proclamation has not given it a flurry of visitors. So, semi-related, but I had another sort of like... I had 2 glitches in the Matrix actually in the past week.
Oh, nice.
So one was kind of a glitch. Yeah, I suppose there are glitches in the Matrix. Mm. So went for a hike with me mate Nolan and Kieran.
Yep, you did it. I think I saw the Instagram of a Friday.
Mm-hmm. Now, I believe on this podcast I've openly jeered my friend for bringing a bag of eggs on a hike, which one would think is quite psychotic, I think personally.
Good protein, I
Would
guess.
you say it's strange to bring a bag of eggs on a hike?
Boiled, like?
Yeah, boiled eggs.
How much is in a bag?
4 eggs. Bag of 4 eggs.
And are they de-shelled?
No.
Or he's de-shelling
them?
I do like an egg. 4 is a lot.
Would you bring eggs
Did he
on a
share
hike,
the
though?
eggs?
Would you think to bring eggs on a hike?
I think you'd need more carbohydrates on a hike.
But would you just think to bring a bag of eggs? Would that be something that would come into your mind? Like, I'm going on a hike, I may bring a bag of eggs.
It may come into my mind. I'm not against. I'm quite a big fan of boiled eggs. I'd probably bring more carby things myself. Okay. I wouldn't rule it out.
Your mind wouldn't go to eggs though. Like,
for the sake of this conversation, I'll say no.
No, but I want your honest answer. I'm thinking you wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm planning for a hike today.
I eat a lot of eggs. I'll tell you what, you and me have gone on many hikes together and I've never brought eggs. So let's just go with that answer.
Let's go with that. That's a great answer, Eamon. So I've openly jeered Nolan on this podcast before for bringing eggs on a hike.
Yeah.
So now we do our hike. Of course, he has eggs.
Yeah.
And I was like, you joking or what? Or you just... He's like, no, I'm bringing eggs. I was like, okay. So we get to the top of the mountain, right? And Nolan's at his eggs anyway. Mm. And now he's moved on to his Yorkie. So he had
4 eggs and a Yorkie.
And a sandwich.
That's pretty class.
2 Yorkies, actually. So right?
Nice.
So
was it just the blue Yorkie or the purple Yorkie?
Blue Yorkie. Now get this right. So get this right. There was another on the mountain. There was no one else hiking except this one other person who we met on the mountain, right?
Right.
Now he's coming down off the summit.
Right.
When we're down a little bit having our dinner, like our victuals.
Yeah.
He comes down, right? We get chatting to him, we're chatting about him. Yeah. Nolan's like, do you want a bit of a Yorkie, man? And he goes, nah, thanks, man. Eggs only for me.
Nice.
And I just went, I literally went, are you fucking kidding me? Eggs? And he went, yeah.
4 hard.
He's like, I don't eat carbohydrates, only eggs.
Was this man in good shape?
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, well,
I was like, yeah, but like, what are the odds of that? Like, the only person you meet on a mountain is like an egg fiend,
an egghead. And
so then the next one this is smaller and less significant. Sitting in a cafe and chatting with 3 lads, and one of them said something about silence, and I said like, oh yeah, Depeche Mode. Said something about enjoying the silence or something. And then on the radio, Depeche Mode Enjoy the Silence comes on, like literally 30 seconds later.
Synchronicity, yeah. You might be tapped into the Matrix, brother.
I was like, that's weird. A little weird, like kind of...
You might be trying to break out of the Matrix. Morpheus might show up at your door. Robert,
the eggs thing, I actually couldn't believe that. I was like, what are the odds that like fucking...
To be fair, like...
Humpty fucking Dumpty...
To be fair, you're right. Statistically, it's unlikely.
It's unlikely for so many reasons.
Yes.
It's unlikely that someone's going to announce that he only eats eggs before.
That's true.
Like, whoa, back off with that Yorkie. I only
what
like
were the
eggs.
chances as well, like, of... Because I know Nolan would be working, so obviously he took a day. So if you put in the probability of all these things, you know...
I'm telling you, man.
Very
eggs.
strange. Yeah.
I couldn't get over it. I was like, this is bizarre.
I had this isn't a glitch in the Matrix. No. This is just a very strange dream that I thought was real. Yeah. And I think maybe could have been some sort of demonic shark entity. I had a fucking dream a couple of nights ago that there was like a shark in my bed eating me.
Oh no!
And I couldn't stop it eating me. And the sheets were covered in blood. Literally, it was pulling chunks off me, and I was like trying to get it to stop. But I wasn't freaking out. I was just like, yeah, there's a shark in the bed, I suppose. And then, like, everything, I was like a vampire movie, you know, the white satin just covered in blood.
Shit.
And the shark just wouldn't stop eating me. He's like, go up out of that now, leave me alone. But I was in bits. I was like, how am I going to explain this to Paula in the morning? And I was like, it was a very bizarre dream. And I think maybe some sort of a malignant entity got into my room. The shark of my mind.
I had a nice dream last night. I texted you about it there. It was like Mayo and Ahmed. Yeah, we were going around like a city, like we were back in the day. But we were our age now.
Balls back in the day.
But we were our age now. But we were like fucking around and joking. But it was actually really strange because we went into like a chipper. He was right outside for me.
Yeah,
I think we were in the north actually.
Right.
And there was like a lot of Protestants over the corner.
Class.
and this Irish one walks in, and I think she had a bit of a Dolores kind of style about her,
right, from that show you were watching, like,
and
not Dolores O'Riordan,
and the girls were like, oh, look at her, she's at her ender in a fucking debate club. Why did you enter a debate club? And because you want to be arguing about Protestants and all this. And I was like, leave her alone, you fucking bastards and all. And then she came over and shifted me.
Oh, nice. Me and Wayne just out and out smoking fags out in front of George, laying the gob on someone with fish and chips.
I was like, I may have got the lads and we need to walk around the city again. But strange.
Yeah. That's, I think to even spend one day with you and him as we would have back in the day would be too much for me now.
But it was like, it was like we were just wandering around without, like, it was like kind of purgatory, which would have been like we were back then.
Just going around on the dole buying sandwiches. Like that was our lives for like 2 years. Silent Hill
2, just wandering around in the fog, going like, what's going on? So, anyway, look, we get back to the shit. So due to its remoteness, the valley has remained largely untouched. It's home to many diverse animal species, which are predatorial. Grizzly bears, timber wolves, and are the chief carnivores. And people are seldom seen in this nature. Historically, the lands around the Nahanni Valley were home to the peoples of the Dene indigenous tribes.
I think we've talked about them before on the podcast as well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they've dwelt there for centuries. It seems that they never lived exactly along the river and its tributaries, from which the valley got its name. Their oral histories passed down through generations speak of another tribe living there, and that was called the Naha.
The Naha. So the Dene tell that the Naha were a warlike tribe living.
Ooh, Naha.
Na. Yeah. So get your tickets for the Stars, guys. This episode is sponsored by David Dreidel.
David Dreidel.
It's such like it just. Sorry, when you're signing artillery shells for Israel, look, lads, take the points and the goals will come. This stuff writes itself.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking of him singing. His voice it's like fucking, it's like rock opera. Like it's just, you know.
Oh, it's corny out of the door.
Heaven just isn't high enough. It's like, burn me a light inside. Sorry, forget about your neighbours.
Yeah, it's like Meatloaf mixed with like fucking Linkin Park or something. Do you know what I mean?
It is. It actually is Meatloaf mixed with Linkin Park. That's actually exactly. That's like if you were to describe their band, that's exactly what it is. It's Meatloaf mixed with Linkin Park. It couldn't be more of anything else. That's exactly what it is.
Some dude.
If you like this, you'll love Meatloaf mixed with Linkin Park. Yeah, just go onto your fucking AI and
make it up, make it
happen. So they became the main foes of the Dene peoples and were greatly feared by them. The name Nahanni itself is of Dene origin and means the river of the land of the Naha people. These oral histories and the name itself are very important as they are certain proof that a different indigenous tribe once dwelt here. However, the Dene state that the Naha people simply vanished at one time, ceasing their raids and disappearing altogether. Mystery surrounds these so-called Naha, but no trace of them has ever been found. So far, they are only found in stories. So they may have migrated elsewhere. Maybe they succumbed to disease or died out. Or maybe they simply stayed in the Nahanni River Valley to this very day and are actually still there. Some speculate that this might be the case. And this kind of goes back into your kind of early to mid 20th century. So we get into a little bit of this. This mystery would likely have died out quickly, being dubbed another legendary story of an indigenous tribe. But several eerie deaths and disappearances within Nahanni Valley achieved the opposite result. The mysteries surrounding this place, they fuel these stories further, and the Nahanni became the focus of many mystery hunters.
Sounds interesting, right? So it's almost like that fucking idiot that got killed by that Sentinel Island tribe.
Oh, that was trying to going off with the Gideon Bible or whatever. Yeah. And he's like,
except
Jesus.
Except it's like kind of, well, it's not that remote. Not as remote, shall we say, Sentinel Island. So like you could potentially wander.
It must be such
accident.
a head fuck to be like, I know Jesus is going to keep me safe. I'm going to spread the word as you're being skewered by like.
Well, yeah, it's a slow death as well when you're getting shot by arrows. It's not like getting shot by a gun. Like it's like painful and you're bleeding out fairly slowly.
And you're just like...
To be fair though, he probably had like NDEs and stuff because he would have been bleeding out slowly. That would have been nice at least. He would have been seeing
maybe his NDEs could have been just God being like, oh, you moron.
Could have been. But, you know, lying in a boat, staring up at the sky, baby Jesus talking to you. Worst place to go. You know? Yeah,
as a load of indigenous people skewer you.
There might as well. Sure, they fired arrows from...
They didn't come up on him and start like teabagging him or whatever.
Oh, he was dead, I'd say, by the time he got to shore. He was in the boat, like, and they were firing at him kind of like Boromir and Lord of the Rings.
I didn't realise. I thought he was on the land.
No,
he was actually,
I don't think he even got to land.
Did he have, like, what was the boat? Was it like a...
It's probably a little raft or something. Not a raft, but like a little fishing boat or something.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he even got to the point of like even talking to them. I think they were just like, fuck this dude. Coming in on a boat, like, fuck him.
To be fair, for them, it's like...
Well, they just seen him as a threat, I suppose. They're just like,
Well, did they ever see a boat before? Maybe.
Probably, but they're probably like, they're all threats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kill
No, it's understandable. So if I saw a thing that I had never really seen a few times just parking outside my house, I'd be looking at it skeptically.
Yeah.
You know? Like...
Well, like, to them, potentially, let's just say they haven't seen boats. It's like seeing a fucking alien spaceship.
Yeah.
With some fucking lad who's probably dressed like a Mormon.
If I saw
on the fucking boat.
octagonal craft land in me drive, I'd be like, I'm ready. I'm getting ready for a fight now. Getting the lump hammer upstairs.
And if you're a fucking tribe member who goes around with his dingleberries hanging out his arse and fucking grass skirts and shit, and you see a lad that's dressed like fucking a member of Joy Division or something, Mormon, like, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this motherfucker doing? Like, he needs to die.
Yeah, this isn't right. This isn't the way it's
meant
to be.
That's suit and tie bullshit. Kill this motherfucker. You know?
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right.
Shout out.
And I agree with the tribe in that case.
Yeah.
So most of the focus is on a special place within the valley. It's called the 200-mile Gorge. The Dene natives speak of an unknown evil dwelling there, and few have ever entered it, especially because of the events that transpired there.
Oh.
For it's the 200-mile Gorge that gained the grisly epithet of the Valley of the Headless Men.
Oh no. I'm very scared at that. Actually.
Yeah, it's a very scary episode.
Very scared.
Be thankful. Imagine like someone had downloaded this episode and they're hiking the Valley of the Headless Men as we speak, and they're going, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah. What do you think would happen if you went up with a lot of eggs to that tribe?
You'd probably meet another man. He'd be about to kill, but then he said, wait a second.
I
only eat eggs. And then you just have eggs together. Probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
Would you like a purple Yorkie?
Some are like fucking 2 egg men. But now I'm gonna have probably a lot of people right there going like, I always bring eggs on my hike.
It, like, to be fair, I can see the logic in terms of the protein.
They're just not good for hikes, like, because they're just not a good portable food. I would say a boiled egg is not a suitable food for a hike.
In a bag.
Just a bag of eggs.
You'd have to put a bit of salt on your eggs. Like,
that's fine, but that's fine. But
I think they're good recovery food for the hike, because for your muscles, the eggs, you'd imagine that would sustain your aching limbs.
Like, as I was saying, it's like, there's protein in cheese, there's protein in nuts.
There is, but the amount of protein in eggs, that's true, but I think eggies are very good for protein.
Nuts.
I never had a chance at life. I'm full of protein.
I think that's big egg filling you full of gas.
Well, egg does fill you full of gas as well as the other thing.
know
You don't want to be downwind of that fucker. I know all
about that, brother. Find out how much protein's in an egg for me there, please, quickly. We're on like genius level discussions there now.
Yeah.
Never mind the
It's going to be a late episode again. Let me see now.
Stop.
Oh, look, if it is, it is, man.
No, sure, look.
Between your oxygen
we're all
and
in the moment. I've got a CPAP.
My not drinking, we're like, we've never been.
Yeah. Sure, look,
never been so.
2 a.m, sure. Monster Fuzz.
I didn't realise how much alcohol was damaging my life until... Oh, fuck yeah, there's not a whole lot in it.
Yeah, how much is in an egg?
According to this has to be small
I'll just
egg. For 100 grams of egg. Now, how much would an egg weigh?
Oh, we need to know.
Yeah, hang on. I just need to find out how much an egg weighs, and then I can... This is very important.
Quickly.
How much does the average egg weigh? No one knows.
I'm about to take down Big Egg.
It's happening.
Found it. Why is this is prime podcasting here, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody, just be cool.
Miranda.
Oh, fuck.
What's going on with you?
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Eggs are shite. Like, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, what's the crack one?
One large egg weighs about 57 grams.
Right. And
do you know how much protein is in 100 grams of egg?
Fill me in.
13 grams. 13% of an egg is protein.
Grams,
yeah.
No, that's not that bad. Like...
No, but sure.
Chicken breast is 20 grams, isn't it? Roughly?
Yeah, but a protein bar is 20 grams.
Yeah, true.
So you'd be like,
just bring
4 eggs.
Yeah.
To be fair now, 4 eggs is, like, to be fair to him, that's nearly 60 grams of protein. So, it's not 60 grams.
No, it's not.
It's twice, it's about 25 to 30 grams, say. Are 2 eggs enough protein in a day?
Right.
2 eggs does not complete your daily protein need, but it's a great start.
No.
There.
No, we have to get away from eggs. They're too expensive. In America, sure, there's lads.
Oh, there's lads.
I seen a story on YouTube.
Lads putting down payments on eggs out in America.
I seen there's a bank in America now where you can bring in eggs and store them for you.
Do you know when you listen to a podcast and they go, put your money into gold. It's the only thing that won't fluctuate. Actually, eggs.
Cash for eggs.
Do you know that eggs last forever if you leave them there?
Oh, yeah.
They don't go bad.
Cash for eggs. You can bring your eggs in the cash for eggs.
Yeah, you can trade in God of War 4 and a few eggs and get a few pounds for yourself.
Store credit.
Only God of War 4. They'll only take God of War 4.
No, you bring in eggs for store credit, like in America. The banks now at the minute are accepting eggs.
They're accepting eggs, yeah. Livestock.
There's an egg index, like.
Livestock could be used as collateral. If you have 2 chickens, they'll be like, I'll give you 100 grand.
Yeah. There's one of the lads, one of our listeners, Gianni, lying on the Discord.
What did he say?
He was saying, outside all the big cities in America, eggs are like cheap. I was like, bitch, stop. That's propaganda.
35.
I know for a fact.
35 cent an egg here.
As a matter of fact, I challenge people to send me a picture of eggs that aren't over $5 an egg in America.
All chickens with no legs and all broke up chickens. Fucking ratchet chickens over there laying eggs. Get the fuck out of here.
Fucking eggs. Can't even sort out your eggs. Now, you wouldn't have that conversation in America where you meet a lad on a mountain with 4 eggs in his pocket.
Sure. I tell you one thing.
He'd be jumped.
A man with 4 eggs would be his Tesla would be burning in the car park. That's what would be happening to him.
There'd be lads robbing him. The egg wars.
If I saw a man cracking open an egg in America, I'd be hunting
be long
them
about
down
getting
like
it
the
up off the
Nahannis.
ground, would they?
I'd be gone. Nah.
Yeah.
I see you have the egg.
So, right. The origins of the Erie nickname can be traced to the early 20th century at the famous time, the Klondike Gold Rush. We all know it. At this time, many would-be prospectors wanted to test their fortunes and head out to the remote chicken mines where they would fetch eggs, especially in Yukon. It was known to contain gold in its rivers and soils.
A treasure that was nearly worth as much as a baker's dozen eggs.
It was known to have gold in the rivers and soils, and the treasure could be quickly made by those lucky enough to strike gold.
Yeehaw!
2 of these prospectors decided to forego the traditional routes and locations leading to Yukon and to instead try their luck in the Nahanni Valley. There were 2 brothers of Métis ancestry, Willie and Frank McLeod, or if you're in America, you'd say McLeod. In 1906, or McLeod. I would say McLeod.
McLeod.
In 1906, they canoed upriver to reach the Nahanni Valley. and that was the last time anyone saw them alive. In 1908, 2 years later, a search party discovered the skeletons of the remains of the camp. Odd too, perhaps, were the perfectly preserved eggs in their canoe.
Golden eggs.
Both were headless.
Yeah.
Seemingly, they were asleep when they were attacked. The body of one of the brothers lay reaching out towards a gun, indicating a need for defense. A third man, their companion, surnamed Weir, was missing. How weird that he went missing. From here on, the mysteries deepened. Who would decapitate so ruthlessly two peaceful prospectors?
Now, they weren't found out until 2 years later. So you do kind of... Then again, all their heads missing seems a bit...
Because things eat heads. Like, I found a sheep skull up on my hike. And
who's out there decapitating the sheep?
No, but like it was chewed on and all. What I was going to say is like some animals will chew off an old head, like, but it's usually the last bit, really, to be honest with you. The last good end is in
it would
the
be
skull.
strange, like he may not have been reaching for his gun. It's not like he's going to be preserved.
Yeah,
like
true.
Pompeii, you know what I mean?
He could have been just sleeping that way.
Yeah, this is it. I sleep with my gun.
Yeah. A lot of Americans sleep with their gun. That's quite common.
I actually don't have a gun.
I wish I had a gun.
You have a big stick that you use.
Axe.
Well, it's like just
Stick.
it's like the axe body without the axe head.
Stick, knife, a lot of things.
I
A
just
lot of bits.
Yeah.
Whatever I feel
Sort
like.
of bric-a-brac, violent bric-a-brac.
Sort of an assortment, but yeah, so what would happen to them? You know, we're all trying to figure it out. Rumours were spreading, wild theories were put forward. Some spoke of feuding prospectors killing one another, which, maybe terraforms. Others attributed the deaths to wild animals. Some spoke of inhospitable, warlike natives leaving the headless corpses as a warning to other trespassers.
There you go, boys.
That is possible. If I put that sheep skull, right? If I put that on a broom handle out in the garden.
Yeah, people would probably stop bothering you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And like, if I made like a tea with like 2 broom handles and I put the fucking sheep skull on top and then like draped like a black cloak across it so it's like a fucking spectre out in the garden.
People would only knock on your door at Halloween, like that'd be it. Yeah, they'd be like, there's a mad lad lives in there. Yeah. It is kind of cool that you can put the dead remains of animals in your garden to leave. It's like a ritual. If you leave this here, SSE electricity won't knock on your door anymore trying to upsell you.
Do you know what I thought was cool about the skull? Was that so many animals have gotten something out of it that you can see that in the skull.
And you're the last animal to get something out of it, which is just a trinket, which is kind of interesting.
There's something about it, Eamon. So there's something, I noticed it today, right? I've done my garden. It's all nice and it's starting to flower and look lovely, actually. And I had, like any sort of sane, well-adjusted person, a sheep skull drying up on the shed to the left.
Yeah.
And in the sun, because that's what Tim told me to do, by the way. So
I would take Tim's advice on stuff like that, though. To be fair,
but what I observed was there was actually something quite nice about having living and like really nice, lush, like life nature. And then something as macabre as just like a skull on the other side.
The dichotomy between life and death.
There's something about like that's like the Capuchin place that I went to in Rome, which had
the mausoleum,
which was just fucking mental. It was like a Mortal Kombat level. Brother Richard got around doing fatalities.
It's like a Mortal Kombat level.
It's
test
that whole place is like to sort of put your mortality into perspective and to reflect and all that. And I thought I kind of got that same thing out of a sheep skull.
Yeah, it's understandable. Yeah, like I was only ever in a mausoleum in Sicily, but it was the same thing. I was like, this is like after initially you're like, whoa, it's gnarly, but then you're kind of like, oh, these dead dudes, and this is just
they're
their
like
bodies.
Me.
Man, I wonder how many eggs these gentlemen ate in the monastery.
Too many. Probably.
Did they get their protein intake at just 13 grams per 100 grams?
No, yeah, it's there's something about it. But anyway, having a skull that last, like you said, your last person to get something out of it, a bit of a story.
Because I was handling it earlier, and I fidgeting with the teeth. It was I really enjoyed it. They were loose. It's like, when you have your own loose tooth. But like, and I was just fiddling with the teeth, and I was like, I could see this becoming a problem. Like,
you're gonna be like Jeffrey Dahmer now.
Just like with teeth, like I just want to fiddle with teeth. Oh, how near, how far will it come out? I hope not, but secretly I kind of wanted to. It's like when you break something, like you're messing with something, it's gonna break as a kid, and then it breaks and you immediately go, why did I do that? Like if I poke one of the teeth out, I'd be so miserable. But I feel like I'm standing on the precipice of something great, just fiddling with these molars. Ooh.
Yeah, there's something to it. There is something to it, and I have to say that I'm not one for like collecting skulls, but I felt compelled to collect it. Yeah. Maybe it was Tim's bizarre energy rubbing off on me. It
looks very much like the cover to one of his books. What is it? The footsteps.
Skeletor.
Yes, Skeletor. Skeletons of animals. Tim Renner. Don't look behind. Don't look behind your. I can't remember the full name. It's something about not looking behind yourself. Because the fucking skull man gets you. Fucking take it.
Tim Renner's spooky, scary skeletons.
It's just him with a flashlight under his chin.
But cool shit anyway. Look, let's get back to these spooky bastards. Mysteries were deepening. We were wondering about what was going on with decapitations and all that shit. So theories were floating around, and then another corpse was discovered, right?
1917, 1 year before the war ended.
Yes, that's true.
The Great War.
It was that of a Swiss prospector named Martin Jorgensen. Good Swiss name, probably. His body was discovered decapitated next to the remains of his cabin. It was burned to the ground. It is supposed that he struck gold in the vicinity as he rode of it back home before ending up beheaded.
So beheaded and his place burned down.
Or did he have a chicken farm?
Did he have too many? Looks like you got one egg too many, boy. They just went for him. So
we value eggs up in these parts highly.
Yeah, just other prospectors. The Indians are like, I don't fucking know. I fucking these lads breaking each other up for eggs. I don't fucking know. That's fucking garbage. So an article from February 15th, 1947, after the Second Great War, Deseret News newspaper Deseret News, excuse me, newspaper titled "Headless Valley Myths Dispelled" goes in depth while trying to bash all the mystery and find logic for the murders. Much of the article's contents are unsubstantiated and mere guesswork. There, it is said that Jorgensen and the MacLeod brothers were all murdered for their gold and that they had discovered, but no evidence for this was ever found, though it does sort of stand to reason. In 1927, another body was discovered in Nahanni, belonging to the man nicknamed Yukon Fisher. Variously dubbed an outlaw and a prospector, this man was sought by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police for several years before his death. What was the name of that show? Mountie. Used to be around
Due South.
Due South.
Class show.
Up north, Due South. I used to watch that.
I used to love that, man.
Yeah.
Due South was the king.
Yeah. I don't remember any of it. I just remember your man on horseback.
Was his name... I feel
probably
like
something
Deacon.
Class. Yeah, probably something class like that. Probably something class like Deacon or Cole.
Yeah, and he had his pet dog, the Husky.
Yeah, the Husky.
The Husky was class.
I'm good. No, that was a different show.
Juice Out was the king.
Yeah, I don't remember any of it.
It sounds like I'm saying Juice Out or Jews Out, but Jew.
Oh boy,
Due South.
Due South.
Due South.
We make some jokes about David Dreidel here, but we are not an anti-Semitic podcast. Okay, get that out of your mind. We are not. In fact,
yeah,
I like the Jews.
Yeah,
I think they're.
I do. We've got Jewish listeners.
We do have Jewish listeners. We probably have a lot of Jewish listeners with our American listeners. I know a Jewish person in Ireland. They're very
well
nice.
Done. Congratulations.
Yeah, I know one.
Do you know any black lads?
I do. I know a few black lads.
Do you?
Yeah, I know a couple of black lads. Friends.
I don't believe.
Yeah. My wife is a black lad. Actually, my wife is a black lad. I know I'm married to her, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, there you go.
That's man. Fair play.
Yeah, I am around the place, man. I know, I have friends with a Chinese girl.
Oh, no way.
Man.
Chinese.
Yeah. Now, from Ireland, Chinese though, you know. But friends,
Class.
because there's a lot of shared interests.
Yeah.
I was like, you like disturbed. And we bonded over down with the sickness.
Yeah. Well,
do you want to get up? No.
How could you not?
You're down with the sickness.
Yeah,
Your brother's a pup. He's down with the sickness. The officials found his skeleton on the banks of Bennett Creek, quite close to the place where the bodies of the McLeod brothers were found in 1908. His death was never fully explained, nor was the fact that he was known to possess a solid number of gold nuggets for which he purchased goods on the frontier. Then, in 1931, another body was found. This time, it was that of Phil Powers.
Shout out Phil.
My dad, Phil. His charred remains were discovered in the ashes of what was his cabin. It was quickly attributed that his death was a faulty stovepipe.
Carbon monoxide bite. Smoked out of it.
Yeah, smoked out of it. On fire. Carbon monoxide setting things on fire. It's evolved. The explanation was repeatedly debunked by various sources. Phil Powers, for what it's worth, was likely murdered by his cabin set ablaze.
No.
Likely murdered and his cabin set ablaze, rather. Many others simply disappeared without a trace in the remote wilderness of the Nahanni Valley. In 1928, one prospector named Angus Hall ventured ahead of his party and was never seen again. Another pair of prospectors, Joe Mulholland and Bill Epier, disappeared in 1936, and for many years they were searched for but never found. The only thing discovered was their cabin burned to the ground.
Oh shit.
And then there was a woman named Annie Laferte, and she went missing in the Nahanni also.
Annie Laferte.
Shimon, Annie.
My name is Annie Laferte.
Yeah. Annie, are you Ferte? Are you Ferte, Annie? In 1926, with her hunting party, she was present in the valley near the Flat River, but she got lost in the wilderness and disappeared. Many months later, an Indian by the name of Big Charlie claimed to have seen the woman climbing a hill while totally naked, seemingly having lost her mind. Lost her damn mind. She became just another of the many victims of the wild Nahanni Valley.
It's interesting that losing your clothes and going around nude is like an indicator of like, they're mad.
I think clothes represent civility.
True.
And maybe it's like when you lose your mind, you're like, I actually don't need
I'm
any
not
of
civilized
these.
anymore.
Yeah, I'm not civilized anymore. I am become uncivilized having lost my mind.
Because as soon as you see someone nude in public,
you're just like mad.
It's like
mad. There's a mad lad.
On drugs.
Anyone above the age of like, you know, you go to the beach and there's like nudie children running around. Anyone above the age of like 7 who's nude at a non-nude beach, mad.
Oh yeah,
mad. And that's even the beach where it seems more appropriate to be nude. Nude lads in the town, certainly mad.
Yeah, because like, to be honest with you, you know, back in the day, sometimes if I seen a nude lad running around, I used to assume that they were on like a dare or something. But then I realised now they're probably just mad.
There are some lads now, and they do now, you know, streaking through the
quad just as like a dare, or like
yeah.
or like it's like a stag do thing where it's like
your cousin. This is like an unlocked memory. We were practicing out in the country, and he was out there with his playing music, and he left on his runners and then tried to thumb a lift nude.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like
he's again mad lads who've gone mad, you know.
Yeah, ironically, yeah. No. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
No, especially not then. They were the all or nothing days.
I don't know what's gained by doing that, but
he got a good laugh. He got a good laugh out of us. And then he sat on the drummer's chair and he did not like that.
He also one time took a shit on the toilet and
didn't wipe his
and was high-fiving all of us when he was taking a shit on the toilet, and then one of the lads pulled him off the toilet with a shitty arse.
And then he got into the cubby hole, which he?
And then he got in first. He got in and sat on his own blanket with a shitty arse.
I believe that was the same night he smoked a cigarette with his foreskin. It was just walking around with a cigarette in the foreskin,
No, he smoked the fag with his Mickey, like his Mickey was settled in hell the next hell. He did. He smoked it down to the axles, man. I seen him.
Yeah, no, he did well. I think I had left at that point. Thankfully.
But no, his
histrionic behavior.
No, his shitty arse was all over his blanket, and then when he realised that he was
on my blanket,
he was like, He's trying to box all
Which one of you idiots shit on my blanket?
Yeah, he's trying to box us all. It's like, it's your shitty ass on the blanket.
Do you know what's really funny and ridiculous? 85% of people go through their lives without ever having a story like this to tell anyone.
Oh yeah,
normal, well-adjusted people who don't have stories like this.
That's only like, you know.
Man, do you know how close we were to like just smoking crack on the streets? We were like one bad summer from all our lives just being ruined, from being both dead, found headless in a valley somewhere, you know.
But smoked the fag that night. Smoked a fag with his Mickey. Shitty blankets then. Shitty Irish blankets all over the gaff. Probably did some other stuff as well.
Everything was.
He fell asleep outside in a SpongeBob SquarePants gown, and he would think he was nude. Yeah, one of the lads put a bottle of wine up his arse or something. Remember?
But I wouldn't even mind. But like
that was all go.
It was all go. It was a busy night. But we weren't even.
That was all the same day.
But we were. They were. It was just hash and drink. There was no even like bizarre.
It was like
drugs.
Hardcore alcoholism. It was like drinking for 5 days straight.
Yeah, and
I wasn't, mind you. I was only smoking.
I was holding down a job somehow at that time. I'd go to and I'd say, "Would you like coffee with that? My friend has a shitty arse, and I've just come from his house."
And we'd all go down to you and get free food.
It's not free. It wasn't free.
Oh yeah,
statute limitations.
You totally paid for that.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was good.
Yeah, well, yeah, it wasn't free. If you're listening, it wasn't free. It wasn't free, okay? It was never free.
We all paid somehow.
Everyone paid at least the cost price of the produce.
Cost price, yeah. Wholesale. You know, like when you go out to the
cash and carry. It was Eamon O'Neill's cash and carry like that he didn't own and was giving away freely and shouldn't have been.
As was the style of
statute limitations. That was like 20 years ago. So inhospitable was the Nahanni Valley that even in the 1920s it was still unexplored. Maps of the region showed almost nothing except 2 flat lines that indicated the 2 main rivers, Nahanni and Flat.
Watch out.
It would take decades for an accurate map to be created. In 1945, a miner from Ontario, whose name is now lost, was found dead, still in his sleeping bag. His head, however, was never found, as a dog would say, rough. Around that time, another trapper succumbed to the inhospitable wilderness. That was John O'Brien, a good Irishman who didn't take the soup. And he was found frozen next to his campfire, his rigid hands still clutching a match, his death due to the freezing elements.
Yeah, well, that's scary.
Yeah. And then next one is all you. Now you're gonna think to yourself,
I like the title there.
How is this possible?
How is it possible?
How is it possible?
Well, before we get to it, you know, it's the last paragraph.
Oh, you want to go back to talking about?
No. I just want to apologise. I'm very smelly today. I kind of didn't wash or nothing for the podcast.
I'm not really getting a whiff of it.
No, not for you. I'm apologising to the listeners. I'm using smelly as a sort of a descriptor for my general aura at the minute because I actually didn't have time to wash today, would you believe? Which is not like me because with the podcast, I'm like, you
have to have a shower.
On YouTube, a video now. There's not many people watching.
I went walking up in Fort Mountain after work.
That's a good walk. Nice.
Come down, have a quick shower. Well, I went with the wife and she was just mounting off the whole time.
Oh, yeah. Get yourself some kind of tether and just drag her along.
Like a cat.
Yeah.
Just refusing to walk, just being dragged up the hill. I know, she was in good form now. We took some nice pictures by the drooping rock.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely.
She'd be used to that. And
that's a nice spot.
No, it's actually lovely. To be fair, like the quarry's quite nice with the lake and everything. I felt like I was in the Nahanni.
Yeah.
There was danger at every corner. We saw at least 2 other people. And who's to know what twisted designs could have been in their minds? Anything. Anything.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
spruce.
Now let's get back to the story because this title is exciting me. In winter, the Nahanni Valley is inhospitable. With the freezing cold and the ravaging timber wolves.
It's an tree of the timber wolf.
This nature can claim the lives of the most experienced outdoorsmen. But in the warmer months, this valley transforms into a truly unique environment.
Like Iceland.
So much so that many dubbed it tropical. It can turn into a true oasis, being warm and lush with vegetation. One can even bathe in the creeks and streams, fearing no coldness. And that's all due to the hot sulphur springs that can be found there. Hot springs lie all beneath the valley, and give it an additional dose of mystery. The sulphur can often fill the air with an odd smell, like in Iceland. The showers smell like fucking eggs, actually. The Americans would be over there licking the showers.
Good bit of protein, yeah. They'd be just climbing into the drainage channels.
Sucking on
I'm pretty sure there's some eggs down here. 13 grams of protein, Mavis.
You know we love you Americans.
We do, of course.
The egg thing is
just your president is an unhinged maniac.
That's not even, as I've said before, there's nothing to do with him. The eggs thing was around Joe Biden as well.
Why is it the price of eggs is
like... mad, man. You can't buy them over there. It's like the Switch 2. You can't get it.
Tariffs.
Yeah, there's lads
Nintendo can't afford to sell it.
It's gotten that bad that Americans now are trying to offer a dozen eggs for a Switch.
I heard that it's having trade relief on China. Goes, look, we're going to put your tariffs up to 8%, but we give you eggs for everything you send into the country. 2 eggs.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
My favourite part about eggs is like they're so versatile.
I can't eat them, so maybe I'm a bit envious.
So need to eat one of my omelets one
day. They're not good
and
for me.
Weather the storm.
Yeah, you see, this is the thing, and like, do you know what I mean? You know, I went to that allergist guy and he's like, nah, eat the eggs, get back on the eggs. You know, you should be on the eggs. Now, Mr. Allergist, I'm eating the eggs, but my fucking farts are fucking stinking.
That's just...
Am I better off for eating the eggs?
That's just eggs, man.
Yeah, but am I better off?
Part of the reason that eggs cost so much is that if you leave yourself in a small enclosure, eggs act as a kind of a fuel source and heat the room.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't actually. So that's what I'm at. And what I'm wondering, like, and some genius can tell us, like, it doesn't feel like they agree with me. So, like, why would you eat something that doesn't agree with you? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but it's like, why?
It's just classic. Like, why? It's so good.
Maybe I'm the next evolution of person because, like, all the Americans are going to evolve soon into not liking eggs because they can't afford them anymore.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Maybe I'm like
the only way nature can figure out how to get us off eggs is to make them too expensive. It's just nature's plan.
23andMe are going to be taking my DNA now. It's actually over there.
They actually went under. What happens to all
my
your DNA?
Someone has it now.
He just has your DNA.
Someone has it. Sure, who cares? Like,
well, that's true.
It's a bit of fucking DNA.
Imagine they cloned you.
Who cares? People are going on about like all this, like, what are you going to do with your DNA? Who cares? Like, what are they going to do? True. Like, what are they going to do?
Rob is arrested. Like, we found DNA samples of Robert Billington on the scene of the crime.
That is obviously, if you're a criminal, yeah, I'd be concerned. But like, you know, what, they're going to sell me, they're not going to give me insurance because I'm predisposed to losing my eyes or something. Good news. I can't afford insurance anyway.
Comes from a lot of people whose eyes rolled out of their heads. Their heads are like 50 or just roll straight out.
Yeah, but I can't afford health insurance anyway, bitches, so who cares? Oh,
and you're living in Ireland where the healthcare system is free, so...
Yeah, free.
But for how long? If you're willing to wait 5 years for your eyes to be rolled back into your head.
It's free if you've got time, brother. Do you know what I mean?
And sometimes with illness, as we all know, time is the last thing you have. The first to go. Listen, man, eggs are good for your health, so whether they give you an arse...
Listen, I'm flying over to America.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get my teeth done and pay in eggs.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
But you can't bring food on the airlines. I hate that. If you get caught trying to bring food into America, especially eggs, like nothing to declare except this bag of eggs, like... Man, that bag of eggs is worth about 25,000 USD.
Yeah.
And I can only pay Canadian.
Oh, the poor old eggs.
Tell you one thing about eggs, though.
Class.
Wow.
Yeah,
well, like you can probably just live on eggs.
Rotten.
Sick.
Smell like shite.
How could someone say such a thing?
Shite.
Egg sandwiches are the nicest. Like egg sandwich with a little bit of cress.
They smell like shite. Anyone that eats them's a fucking maniac. It's
egg
like
sandwiches on wholemeal bread with a little bit of cress.
Dog shit sandwich. It's fucking rank. It smells rank.
No.
It smells rank,
I disagree.
Man.
Eggs are very healthy. We've been eating eggs.
In my nightmares, right? There's like I'm at a buffet or at a party or a wedding or something.
Woman made entirely of boiled eggs.
No. Everything around
it's just eggs.
Is pre-made egg sandwiches. I fucking hate that.
It's like a wedding cake of just egg sandwiches.
And when people, I have a thing with sandwiches that people have made for me. I can't eat them, but egg sandwiches makes it a step worse.
Like.
There's something about sandwiches
like that even if you go to the shop,
I think it's because it's concealed.
Can I have a sandwich? Oh no, get it away from me.
Sometimes, for some reason, when they're factory made, I feel like they're probably monitored to a level where it's satisfactory. But then I watched videos of that recently, and I was like, yeah, I'm not eating pre-made sandwiches either
Big sandwich, just
pre-made sandwiches is a lot of lads that look like fucking Phil Mitchell making their sandwiches. And I'm like, I don't want that either. A lot of Polish lads who look like Phil Mitchell making your fucking sandwiches. Do you have to
make your own sandwiches?
Yeah.
You're okay with making your own sandwiches?
Kira can make them. Loved ones can make them for me. You making them for me would be 50-50.
50-50. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know if I trust you.
No, I think when you said no, I would have been more upset if you said, yeah, no problem with you, mate.
No, I'd be on the fence with you.
How to feel about it.
No, I'd be on the fence with you, all right. Very, very
yeah,
much.
no, I'd probably just
maybe if your mom made me a sandwich, I'd eat it.
Well, you know, she'd give it the correct care. Yeah, she cut it crossways.
I don't know.
No, I wouldn't even.
Philip, I wouldn't.
Man, you want to see the sort of sandwiches he made me as a child? He'd get the fucking the butter straight out of the fridge.
Slab of cheese about that thick.
There'd be no sandwich. There was just the fucking the crust of the bread and the internal bit ripped apart with margarine.
Maniac. And I know that
sometimes it was just butter sandwiches.
Sometimes you can just look at someone and know that
you just know this man is unhinged.
Yeah. He's not.
My dad was never able to make a sandwich. He'd make a lovely dinner for you and all.
Really, yeah.
But he just had no tolerance or patience for sandwiches. Probably like you, he could feel the Phil Mitchells of the world breathing on his neck as he rapidly tried to use hard butter against soft white bread.
I think it's like the concealment of the whole thing. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's, I don't know. That now, I was diagnosed as autistic by one of our listeners last week.
Yeah, this does could sound be an like autistic. It links in there.
It could be an autistic thing.
She didn't say that I was autistic, just that I was old. So I'm still all right to eat sandwiches for a while until my teeth start
you do the fucking... You walk in crucifixes.
That's OCD. That's fine. That's not autistic. That's obsessive.
Chris Angel.
Shazam. Oh no, that was David Blaine. Chris Angel, yeah. He was able to disappear an elephant and all. That's what Chris Angel was able to do tricks and all. That was class. Do you think Chris Angel, how do you think he feels about pre-packaged sandwiches?
He wouldn't.
If you go to Aldi and you go to the bakery section, how is that for you?
Ooh, that's a good question, actually. Let's get into that. So, Tesco's has a bakery section.
Yep.
Right. I can eat a croissant.
Yeah.
I can eat...
Is it the packaging that upsets you?
No. I can eat a croissant. I can eat a pain au chocolat. I can eat...
anything French.
No. I can't eat a Danish with custard. Danish. With custard.
Yeah.
And I can't eat... I can't eat any of those savoury pastries that have like cheese and spinach and all in them. Now, I think I figured it out as I'm describing them. They have an open, wet surface area that can probably
I can understand
capture things and crust.
Yeah.
And form a nice
Whereas
crust.
the pan au chocolate, it's the
pan au chocolate is preserved by the husk.
Now, the pan au chocolate has a hard chocolate interior. Two lines of hard chocolate.
What did I call it?
Shiten.
The
Germans.
No, was this a beetle's shell? Was it just shitting? Chitin?
I'm not sure.
Chitinous?
A chitinous creep.
A chitinous pan au chocolat. It's like
it's got a nice hard
barrier
shell on it.
A crust.
Yeah.
It's like literally a crust that defends the innards.
But again, the sort of soft center, that's kind of high risk, high
this
reward.
is after bringing something that I was meant to talk about on the podcast 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh Lord.
Back to me fucking head. Speaking of Tesco's, this is a fucking... Now, you want to talk about seeing someone walking nude down the road and going, he's mad. Here's one for you. In Tesco's the other day, I seen a lad just bought 3 baguettes, right? And as he was walking out of the shop, he was opening them out of the plastic and just eating them.
Yeah, that sounds like something I'd do, to be fair. That's my mental illness. I've oftentimes been going down the escalator,
Would you do that?
just absolutely housing a roll.
Would you do that? Just a plain roll.
Yeah. If I was hungry enough, man, I'd do that. I would definitely do that. Yeah. I'd be going around the place like a Neanderthal. I would do that. I was
looking at him going, what is this fucking
What's wrong with this man? Wait a second, is that Eamon? Is that my co-host of the podcast?
Would you? Yeah, you do that then.
If I'm hungry enough, man.
That's very in your own.
If I'm hungry enough,
I think.
I'm just hungry.
Yeah, but like, why a baguette though? Plain
Sorry, I
baguette.
would just eat what I had to hand. I think, opened up a packet of ham before and fired a few slices into my mouth on the way down. I'm pretty sure.
There's all that kind of stuff. Like, that's the stuff that like the Brits back in the early 1900s did use that as a cartoon to make fun of us for being Neanderthal.
Yeah,
like, look at this silly man eating ham
silly
from
Irishman
the packet on the escalator. Nonetheless.
Yeah, the Protestants are too rigid, man. The old Catholics be...
Man, I was actually disgusted.
Mm.
The other day, I think people were probably... Maybe I am autistic, actually. I was down in...
It's starting to sound more and more like it.
I was down in the hospital for the CPAP appointment, and the TV is on in front of you. You have no choice but to kind of look at it. And do you know fucking Drew Barrymore has a fucking chat show now?
I know that she has, and I think I've seen a few clips of it. And she gets down on her knees and starts talking to people. It's some garbage.
Fucking Christ! I'm glad you drew the same conclusion, because that's the exact conclusion.
Yeah, absolute toss.
Oh my God! And I was literally sitting there shaking my head like that, and I'd say people were looking at me going, "Jesus," because I was like looking up at it, and then I was going, "Fucking hell."
It's so stupid.
My
it's one of the stupidest pieces of shit. Now again, I've only seen a few clips, so maybe
it doesn't know shit.
If that's a good sort of representation of it, it's garbage.
Like, Anne Hathaway was on it this time.
And what are they talking about?
And Anne Hathaway, and so everyone's all plastic, and they all come out and they're all plastic, and like they're sitting on the couch in such a way where it's like, oh, look at us, we're like sisters, and we're all deliberately sitting here together, and like Drew Barrymore had her fucking hands on her knee.
Yeah, she's always doing that.
And she's doing that, and she's going, oh, tell me more about that.
Look at me, I'm an empathetic multimillionaire.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this show, like, this literally was made to fill time. It's like...
But it's like a celebrity circle jerk. Like they all just love talking. Oh, we're like normal people. It's like...
No, it's like, I was looking at it, and one of the segments was they had fucking an expert on cats. Come on, and so you know, we're in the biz.
We like cats, yeah. So
we know that they would have told people, right? Because having a cat expert on, I mean, it's a fucking cat. Do you know what I mean? They rear themselves, you fucking idiots. First off, that's the first thing. Like, what questions can you ask for cat expert anyway, first off?
And what did Drew Barrymore ask?
No. But so what they would have done is they would have told the audience, like, these are the questions that you asked this cat expert.
Oh, yeah.
So one of them gets up and goes like, what? It was something like, just like, what do I feed my cat or something? It was like something that like a 5-year-old would ask. And the cat expert is like, well, let me tell you, this is what you do. Here's my cat tips. You know, and you're like, what? If you go to
a supermarket,
you're like, am I in fucking...
There's an aisle that has food, but weirdly, it's only for animals.
But I'd say, like, I'm not joking you when I say it, they probably offer, like, free showers to people in Skid Row to get people in the fucking audience. I said it, though. I said they go down to Skid Row and they go, lads...
We'll give you a small bag.
Do you want the good
drugs.
news or do you want the bad news? And that's like, give me the good news. It's like, free shower, warm meal. Under like fucking class. Yeah, deadly. Dental work as well. Yeah, you get dental work. Do you want the bad news? Go on, sure. Drew Barrymore. You have to sit through Drew Barrymore for like fucking 6 hours of taping. Oh fuck! Now I'm gone. Yeah, I'm off.
I'm happy. With
I'm
the
off actually with Drew. Fuck me.
It's.
And then I thought to myself, I was like, Drew Barrymore. Actually, that's a good question. What is she known for, Drew Barrymore? I know her name. What's she known for? Go on IMDb. Oh, like a film from 20 years ago, and it was shit. Charlie's Angels. There you go.
She's in the Goonies.
When did that come out?
40 years ago.
Oh, great.
Yeah, look, I think she's in Scream. I won't say anything about Drew Barrymore's acting career. 50 First Dates was another one. She's the wedding singer. So, but I will say,
no,
I watched a few minutes of that show and I thought to myself, when will my eyes roll out of my head so that I don't need to look at this anymore?
Nah, man. Like,
it's rough, really bad.
And I was watching with no sound on. So like, and I was
that you don't realize it, but that was a blessing. That was the Lord looking down and going, this man has enough issues with his sleep apnea. Please turn off the volume at the Drew Barrymore show.
I was so annoyed. I was just like offended.
So you were just watching Drew Barrymore with her hand on Anne Hathaway's leg,
shaking my head, going, "What is this?"
And Anne Hathaway's just like, "What are you gonna? What's there left to say? Really?"
It's just like two out of touch celebrities trying to wrestle the affection of the audience that are all from Skid Row, trying to get your laughs for 6 minutes, 6 hours, and you're like, oh my god, beam me the fuck up.
I totally understand what it's like to be on Skid Row taking drugs and giving sexual tricks for drugs. As a multi-millionaire.
I mean, I'm hoping
they weren't actually from Skid Row.
I'm hoping no one's watching it.
I think it's been going for quite some time. So
really, I thought it was new.
Yeah, like I think that's been going for a while.
Jobs for the boys. That's what that is. Jobs for the boys. That's what
it is. Jobs for the boys. Yeah,
jobs for the boys.
In this case, maybe the girls.
I
think they had to put something into.
We need to get a job for Drew. Drew isn't. She's not got a job, so we need to get her a job.
Liquid right now. She needs to make some money.
What about Drew?
What about Drew? Drew Barrymore, Michael Barrymore, dead people in the swimming pool. Now what?
Fuck me. Yeah, Jesus.
But I think the void left by Ellen DeGenerates.
Yeah, but
fucking evil. Like, you remember when everyone was just like, she's actually a bitch, and then she just disappeared from.
But that's because everyone's just told what to like. Like, this is
like the same with the podcast.
All this shit is a psyop. It is a psyop. I sound like Gordo now. It's a fucking, but it legitimately is. Tell you, man, it's a fucking psyop. It is though. Like, it's legitimately like you're told to like trash.
Yeah, and you do.
And if you actually like, if you find the people that actually watch Drew, they're like almost not real people. They're like industry.
If there was ever an argument for the simulation theory and NPCs, it's Drew Barrymore's talk show.
There's no one that I know that
if I ever met someone
for Drew, like,
I bet my wife would like Drew Barrymore's fucking show.
Well then, Eamon, I'm sorry to say,
for divorce. We were about to go down a rocky road.
No,
maybe we'll find ourselves on Drew Barrymore's show one day. She'll be like, "You talked a lot of shit."
That'd be great, actually. That'd be brilliant. Drew, you know, Drew, jobs for the boys. Let us on.
We just talk about like Bigfoot and Mothman and all.
You see it over here, the jobs for the boys thing as well. Like, it's quite common actually to like just like, let's get X on this because they're just a person.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Do they have anything worthwhile to say?
It's all just like
jobs for the boys.
I'm doing this now. But to be fair, they're in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Again and again and again.
Money, sure.
And again.
Sure, like, you know, you look into all these motherfuckers and they're like nepotism out of it, a lot of money out of it, rich motherfuckers. Do you know what I mean? The lineage.
We're here.
Two plebs.
Eking out a living.
Two plebs. Plebes.
Plebeians.
I'd actually feel like I was robbing people if I was Drew Barrymore though. Like, if I was going out and like I had a cat expert on.
To be fair, Drew Barrymore's just robbing the network.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She's just doing Drew.
If I went out and I was like, here's the cat expert, and then someone that was told to ask a question in the crowd stands up and goes, what should I feed my cat? Kibble or wet food?
If I leave my cat alone long enough, what happens?
And then the cat expert goes, well, some cats like wet and some cats like dry. Find out. Thanks, cat expert.
Isn't it like bad for the cat's gingivitis if you feed it wet food the whole time?
Well, maybe you should go on Drew Barrymore show.
I might know more, but like, I'm glad you asked. Skid Row number 6.
Clap.
What I like about cats is the way that they meow. I did hear something about cats. If you want a cat to come to you, you make this sound.
Yeah.
And then the cat will come to you. You go, and then the cat will come to you. You go,
Yeah.
And the cat will come to you. Is that like the Drew Barry show? Drew Barry show. Yeah.
Look, anyway, we're back to the tropical.
This
valley.
was meant to be the paragraph that you would like the most.
Yeah, get on to it. I'm sorry, Drew.
No,
I'm
just saying.
Me up, man. I'm sorry.
She really did.
She got me in my feelings.
The residual Drew Barrymore resentment is strong in you.
I didn't even know who she was. Like, honestly, when I put the show on, I was like, Drew Barrymore has a show.
How was she in the Santa Clarita Diet where she turned into a zombie and began falling apart? That was last.
That sounds good.
Which sounds like her talk show to a certain extent.
Nevertheless, legends were happening. Scientists. Oh, yeah, hi, Andrew now. Sorry, Drew.
This would never happen on Drew Barrymore's talk show.
So, yeah, sulfur and odd smells. We went off on our neurodivergent tangent around there
Eggs
somewhere.
and all.
And more than that, the combination of the hot sulfury air and the cooler Arctic air above it created thick and mysterious mists that often covered the entire valley, obscuring it from view and creating an eerie, otherworldly ambience. This gave rise to the tales of a mysterious tropical valley that would have existed within the huge valley itself. While there is a chance that the clash of hot sulfur and the cold Arctic climate can create a unique environment, tropical valley still seems far-fetched.
Right now, here we go.
Nevertheless, legends kept mounting up. Scientists, those few that ever set foot in the valley, discovered numerous remains of prehistoric animals. Oh, fuck.
Here we go now.
Chiefly bones of mastodons.
Thoughts of Barrymore firmly in the past.
And ancient bear dogs.
Fucking bear dogs. You can bring a bear dog expert on the fucking Drew Barrymore.
That's what it's
class.
Drew Barrymore should be talking about lost valleys and mastodons.
Yeah, bring David Dreidel on and ask him about like sighting war shells for the Israeli government to bomb children and women.
Could you imagine him like performing Down with the Sickness on Drew Barrymore show? That'd be class.
I'd love to see that.
Like sitting down with Drew for a while, chatting to her, and then performing.
Oh shit!
You hear that stuff?
Yeah, that is the stuff of dreams. But he wouldn't, because he'd only do the sound of silence.
Yeah.
This isn't even my own song. Friend. Oh gosh, I've really come along.
Yeah, sorry, Drew. Look,
no, I've no ill will against Drew Barrymore.
You know,
I've never met her. I'm sure she's a nice lady. She seems like a nice lady. Seems like a nice lady, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I wish her and her family well.
So we're finding bear dogs, but some people have said that these animals still live within the deepest and most remote nooks of the Nahanni. Tales exist of trappers seeing fresh tracks of prehistoric mammals and bringing back huge ivory tusks with flesh and hair still visible. I like that.
I know, I knew you would.
Other tales state that many of the Dene tribe elders living in the area were able to accurately draw pictures of mastodons. Oh, fuck. As if from memory. Another prevalent story tells of the prehistoric bed dogs, Amphicyonidae, still roaming the valley.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
In the end, no one can accurately say what is transpiring within the mysterious valley. Up to 44 persons have either died or disappeared within it, starting from 1908. Yeah, that's a decent.
Now you got to remember as well the amount of people going in there, so it's not like a regular national park.
So it's a high
per capita. It's quite high.
Yeah. Plenty of odds contribute to the prevalent sense of enigma here. The indigenous Dene locals have avoided the valley for centuries, claiming that it is haunted by evil. Others state that Nahanni Valley is the entrance to the so-called Hollow Earth.
No, and we're going to be doing a Hollow Earth episode very soon.
The valley is dotted with subterranean caverns, some 250 of them, and many remain unexplored. However, we are quite sure that the Earth's belly is rather hot, more than hollow. Nevertheless, it's an enigma. Perhaps it was the territorial Naha tribesmen killing lads. Who have not disappeared? Who have claimed all those lives seeking to protect their last natural refuge? Oh yeah, I get you. Or it was simply the harsh and inhospitable wilderness of remote Canada that claimed those lives. Still, harsh nature cannot behead bodies and burn down cabins. And for that, the mystery remains.
Could have been just mastodons.
And the mystery remains. I think it was a mastodon, burning them all down.
I think so. I'd like to think so.
Mastodon with fire tusks. What do you think of that? Sighting or sighting?
I think the majority of it happened. I'd be surprised if there was mastodons wandering around there. But
you never know, man. If it's a fucking isolated valley.
Did you ever hear the black swan?
Yeah.
They never realised there was a black swan.
Until there was.
They were all white swans, and then they found a black swan. They were like, suppose there's black swans now. So, do you know what I mean? It's all to play for.
I must look into that valley a bit now after record.
I knew you would like it. I knew. We did derail this episode several times, but I think they were good derailings. I would like to formally apologise to Drew Barrymore.
Nah,
she could be a big fan of this podcast. This could be her little.
The only thing I apologise for is she did have a few accolades. You know what I mean? Charlie's Angels and all that, class. So I do apologise, but other than that, no, I don't apologise for the rest of it, and I never will.
Now, maybe if they had the audio, it would have been. Maybe you would have really enjoyed it.
No,
you know, just visually, you were like, something wrong here. Why does she keep touching Anne?
Yeah,
what is happening?
Yeah. The body language is what really annoyed me.
Did it seem like very sort of fake?
Yeah.
Like 17-year-old girls when they see each other and they have big hugs on the streets and all.
Yeah.
Probably not 17, they're probably a bit younger than that. Just the energy of teenagers in 50-year-old women.
The life of the entertainer is a very strange and bizarre one because you're always vying for the attention and love of the audience.
Your capital is the eyes of others.
Yeah, so it's like sometimes, you know, you actually feel that want and need from people that do that. And it comes across quite strongly. And
sometimes you see very obvious ways of them trying to get attention based off something.
Yeah.
You know, like how many times, like, I get like part of their whole job is staying in the public eye, but how many times have they had an asinine, just not cooked idea of what's going on constantly?
All the time. In every episode, every day. Should we just set up a new podcast where we just watch the Drew Barrymore show every day?
That actually probably would be a pretty good podcast. And just put it on like in the corner and we're just going. But it's always on silent. we just assume what they're talking about.
Can we do that?
How did you even know he was a cat expert? Did he have cats?
It's flashed up on like cat expert.
Said Jim, cat expert. What was his name? Do you remember?
Can't remember. It was a girl, I think.
Was it like a mad name?
It was a girl, I think.
Did she look like the kind of person who'd have a load of cats?
Have all these kooky, crazy regulars who are like Drew's friends that are all there to hang out and have a good time.
They'd be on an awful lot of psychoactive drugs.
Drew shares like pictures from her life where she's doing totally normal human things. Like they're planking in the kitchen. It's so kooky. And
planking
like,
in the kitchen?
Yeah, and they're like...
why are they planking in the kitchen?
Jesus Christ.
Just planking?
I don't know, man.
Planking, like, look, planking's good for you.
It's just, you know, sometimes you feel like we've moved past things as civilizations and then you realise we haven't.
Maybe these are the dying screams of the legacy media just going under.
And I'm not trying to sit on a high horse there and say that we're any better. We're actually worse.
We're definitely worse.
But as it happens,
because we'd love to have a cat expert on this show.
Well, I'd love to be able to get away with like sitting on a couch, like pretending to be friends with people, just put some money. Yeah, I'd love that. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be class.
With an audience,
just go into makeup.
Well, an audience that are paid to laugh at me.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
But you can see where this delusional sort of sense of self comes from.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Like it must be really weird to be in show business since you were like 5. That's her whole life.
Weird.
She's now like what, 55 or
something?
See,
why it's weird is because parents that put their children so heavily into that at 5 are fucking weirdos anyway.
That's true.
So there's the news for you. So you're fucking doomed before you're doomed. It's game over.
Just goes to show you that we're all doomed in our own way.
But then again, right, I've kind of wrestled with this a bit in my head at times. Like, you know, the way you have parents who are like super helicopter and they're like super like you have to go to football, like you need to succeed in football, like, and you know sometimes they're vicariously living, so there's a little bit of they're vicariously living through it, but then the other is like maybe I want the child to succeed, or maybe
I want that child's money,
or maybe I should like imprint on that child like what is or like success onto him because I think I know how to do that.
There's very few child actors who didn't go through a very bizarre period in their lives. Like, wasn't Drew Barrymore taking drugs at 12 or something? Like,
Drew was
or 8 or something.
Drew was wild in the 90s.
But like, but like you can't blame the 8-year-old. And I don't know if it's true, but there's allegations, or at least people have said that possibly bad stuff happened to her when she was young. And
man overhead, Drew.
No, he wouldn't have been
jump into the bed, Drew.
You any children? Little girls?
Come on now, Drew, let's come up into the wishing tree and sing up to me into a tree. Michael, I'd say, didn't discriminate you.
No, I don't think a girl has ever accused Michael of anything.
True.
It was only little boys.
Little
boy till
even that alone sort of points to something that maybe he's guilty. It's just like
it's such an obvious thing. Like,
no girls have even gone like he should have maybe employed a girl to go up and be like, see, I didn't little boys.
He just never.
It was
Young men don't have a good role model in society nowadays.
Come up in my tree and I'll show you what's good. Yeah. I don't know, man. Listen. Yeah. What is this episode about again? What we're talking about? The Valley. The Valley. Drew Barrymore podcast.
Load of dead headless lads.
Who wants the Drew Barrymore podcast?
Imagine if you asked AI to do a summary of this. By the end of it, AI was just like, inexplicably, they are now talking about the Drew Barrymore talk show.
We've probably talked
They're now also talking about how Michael Jackson was a gay paedophile. And this is indicated by the amount of young boys that slept in his house, but no girls.
I don't like no means.
Oh, God. That's grim.
I'm getting that means about it here. Yeah, no.
I'd like to go home now.
I gotta be like Gordon, like not a record one's
no
on
sleep podcast.
Like not a record one's on now. You're not going home.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, we'll leave it there. Look, Drew Barrymore got a solid half an hour probably.
That's probably the best advertising she's had.
Should we? I don't know whether we should put Drew Barrymore in the title.
Should we try to get Drew Barrymore on the show?
We should put her in the title, maybe.
The Valley of Headless Men and Drew Barrymore.
P.S. Drew Barrymore.
P.S. Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, maybe.
Post note, Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, let's leave it, sure.
The name is starting to not mean anything. You know, like you've said a word so many times that your brain can't fully grasp it. Whenever I see Drew Barrymore and I'm thinking like...
That's how it feels. It's not real.
It's like having a mouthful
it's like a
of
liminal
Novocaine.
fucking experience. Like,
yeah, you can see like ghouls in the background just effervescently floating by.
Oh, Drew! It actually,
you can stop this.
It actually baffles me. But anyway, look.
Yeah.
If any of our listeners listen to Drew Barrymore, sorry for
there's
you.
literally no listeners left at this point. They're like, that's it now.
They're off to bed.
Like us.
Yeah.
Like us.
Let's leave it there, folks. I've been Rob.
I've been Eamon.
This is the Drew Barrymore Show. We'll be right back after the intermission.
Meow.